Okay, I'm Johnny Vedmore. I'm an investigative journalist for Unlimited Hangout. I like looking into ancestry quite a lot. You don't really know a person by who they present themselves to be nowadays. You're more likely to find out from their history, their background, who brought them up and who brought that person up, etc. In many cases, you find reoccurring manifestation of behavior within genetics in general. So you see that people do the same thing, take the same roads. When I see how people who worship darkness, how they rise to power, it's extremely suspect. And also when you get into things like that, and when you get into researching evil people, you can feel it, man. You can feel that there's something else there, that this can't be normal. If you've got a history which involves nefarious circles, and you do want to hide it. And so that's not going to be presentable to the modern man.
Well, let's begin. Mr. Klaus Schwab.
Well, Klaus Schwab, a hard one to find. So before the World Economic Forum was created in 1971, Klaus Schwab's history was basically unknown. Some people thought he was a construct, that he was just a made-up persona. Some people didn't even think he exists.
Good morning.
It was very, very difficult to find even a mention of Klaus Schwab. I would say pre-1968, that's where he started to really come into his own, is in 1968, about 3 years before the creation of the World Economic Forum, which was originally the European Management Symposium. These sort of people, these big players, they don't let their childhood be known, because their childhood comes from, usually contains dark secrets. You usually find that they're connected with people who have not necessarily been good for the world. Klaus Schwab was born in 1938. So obviously those are fundamentally historic years in Western history. We're approaching World War II. Lots of people wanted to believe he was Hitler Youth or something, and he was supported, but by the end of the World War, he would have been 6 years old, so his father would have been the person he looked up to, and he did. He followed everything his father said. Now, his father was the head of a Nazi model company. Eugen Schwab was the managing director of the Ravensberg branch. Escher Wyss itself was making U-boat submarine parts, flamethrowers for the Germans during the time, atomic bombs and etc., and bits for fighter planes. So every single part of the war machine had a little bit of Escher Wyss in it. His father worked for the Nazis, creating heavy water, and heavy water was used in the enrichment of uranium. So it was a natural way of enriching uranium. Was Eugen Schwab part of the Nazis who were standing outside the Ravensberg town hall in 1938, where a picture was taken, that still causes controversy in that part of Germany when you mention it, because people hate seeing that all of the Nazis were so proud and happy. Ravensberg was such a big Nazi town. Ravensberg wasn't targeted all through the war. What you saw is a lot of rich German people who had helped within the race to eugenically modify the world. Including 691 patients in Ravensberg who were euthanized during the war. 691 who were euthanized. That's a lot of people who were euthanized in Ravensberg. Now, Klaus Schwab, through the 60s, was a young man who was in university, getting degree after degree after degree. And by 1966, 1967, his father told him, if you want to be a success, you've got to go to Harvard.